Good evening. I'd like to call this board business meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tacoma Public Schools acknowledges that we are on traditional, ancestral, and historic lands of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the Puyallup Tribe. This acknowledgement serves as a first step in honoring our nearest tribal neighbors and partners who have inhabited this region since time immemorial, and to whom we give thanks for allowing us passage to their lands. We shall intentionally create inclusive and respectful partnerships that honor Indigenous cultures, histories, identities, and socio-political realities. General Counsel,
Deputy General.
Deputy General, thank you. I'm just reading the agenda. Will you please call the roll?
Absolutely. President Keating?
Here.
Director Bonbright?
Here.
Director McElroy?
Here.
Director Strozier?
Here.
All right. Moving on to item number 6, adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt.
Second.
It's
Third.
been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item number 7, recognition of staff, students, and community. 7.1, state holidays and civic observances, and there are none this month. Number 8, superintendent's report. There is no report. And we're going to move quickly, apparently. Number 9, staff report to the board, and there is no staff, which no staff to the board, no report to the board. Woo. We got some salty ones up here tonight. And that brings us to item number 10, members of the public wishing to address the board. Public comment guidelines. School board members encourage public participation. Your civil input is appreciated. Board members will not respond to your comments during the meeting. The superintendent or a designee will follow up with you after the meeting if action is needed. Instead of speaking at a meeting, you may also send an email to the board at board@tacoma.k12.wa.us. Please contact the board office in advance of the meeting for disability accommodations. Under Board Policy 1430, public comment, the board president may terminate an individual's comment when the allotted time has passed and may interrupt a speaker to require the same standard of civility that the board imposes on itself. Examples of uncivil comments include comments that are libelous or slanderous under a legal standard, are an unwarranted invasion of privacy, are obscene or indecent pursuant to the Federal Communications Act or any rule or regulation of the Federal Communications Commission, violate school district policy or procedure related to harassment, intimidation, bullying, or discrimination, incite an unlawful act on school premises or violate a lawful school regulation, or create a material and substantial disruption of the orderly operation of the board meeting. The board as a whole has the final decision in determining the appropriateness of all such rulings and can maintain order by removing those who are disruptive. However, the board recognizes the distinction between uncivil discourse, which it will not tolerate, and comments about the board, district, and/or staff that are negative yet still civil in nature. The board will exercise its authority to maintain order in a content-neutral manner. Deputy General Counsel, do we have any public comment this evening?
We do not.
Okay. And so the two options that folks have you can submit written comments 24 hours ahead of the board business meetings that would be attached to the agenda. So for those that in the future would like to do that, that's the additional option. Item number 11, consent agenda.
I move the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item number 12, policy matters. There are no policy matters. Item number 13, financial reports. And I see Ms. Medina. I will pass it over to you.
Good evening. Thank you. I just have a couple of items that I'd like to provide you an update on. And I have a couple slides of those. So, if you'll recall, we received federal stabilization resources as part of COVID recovery, and ESSER is the ESSER 3 is the last of our federal recovery dollars that we have out as a grant. We wanted to just give a quick update that we're on track with our ESSER dollars. We will have everything expended theoretically by August 31st. There'll be some payrolls that happen on over the next couple of pay periods after that will still apply towards the grant. But those activities will all cease after August 31st. And we will continue doing the claiming, which is where we report what we spent back off to the state by November 15th. And then they will provide us with all those resources. So far, our intent is to be 100% claimed. We won't leave any money sitting on the table for ESSER. It's $70,842,029 is what we were actually awarded, and we've been spending on those over the last 2.5 years, and we're about 91% claimed at this point. That doesn't mean we're 91% expended, we're 91% claimed. And so we're 100% expended. We will have the rest of those resources provided back to us once we've submitted the claim off to the state.
So I'd like to just take a moment to recognize that number of $70,842,000 of outside resources that come beyond basic education. And we've been through a difficult year of budgeting. Unfortunately, with our state funding model, we're not out of the woods. We've been very fortunate for all the right reasons to support learning loss, infrastructure, and keeping our HVAC systems updated, upgraded, supporting extra staff. Those funds are no longer available. In the last legislative session, there was only minor tweaks done in some categorical supports. And as a result of that, we are not unique to us. You spend a lot of time seeing all the different school districts and all the different places. We are going to go through a very tight year in that space. And so this is the time of year where folks are excited to come back and they want to, add more. They want to just tweak a little bit here and there. We don't have that flexibility in that space. We are going to continue to maintain and try our best, knowing that this is a vague definition, to always, we will honor our work agreements. We will make sure that people are taken care of. We will make sure that we compensate above and beyond those agreements. But we won't have extras. We won't have the ability to add extras. And so that's going to be sometimes tough when we have things like split classes, or we're not able to hire an additional teacher yet because the enrollment's not in there. So I just ask for a little bit of grace during that time for our staff and our building staff as we go through that. Because as I pause and think about over 2.5 years, 70 million, that's just ESSER 3. The total is beyond that with ESSER 1 and ESSER 2. Those are resources that are no longer available in our community. No longer available. So thank you for your grace in allowing me to interrupt and add a little bit of comment there.
Thank you. The second slide that I'd like to provide you an update on is just the flurry of activity that's occurring around our bond sale. So for anybody listening at home who's not aware, the Tacoma voters and the community approved at nearly 70% a $650 million bond back in February of this year. And so our first issuance of bonds will occur here in September. Our intent is about $165 million. Give or take, it'll be less than $165 million. And you have approved a resolution for that last board meeting or the board meeting before. They all seem to run together at this point. And we have been working hard to select our underwriters. Those are our bankers that help us find investors to buy our bonds and help us structure the bond so that we are fitting our payment schedules appropriately and that we can monitor and manage the tax rate appropriately. And we have completed that process. We've selected RBC Capital Markets and Raymond James bankers to assist us through the process. We already have our our bond counsel on board. We already have our financial advisors on board. And so this was the last piece of the puzzle to help us get our full package together. And so some of the next steps that we're working towards, we'll be doing a bond sale sometime around the week of September 23rd. We are leaving ourselves some flexibility in that because the market seems to be potentially volatile around that time. It's expected that the Fed may drop our interest rates, and so that could put some volatility in the market that makes it a less preferential for us to go out and sell bonds and a week or two around that time frame, as well as what's happening with the election in November. We want to try to get in the market before that because we think that there'll be way too much volatility after that. But as we often see in elections, there are frequently surprises. And so we're poised to be able to get ourselves in the market any point after pretty much the second week of September, anywhere through November if we have to, mid-November if we have to. And the next week will be our rating agency calls. We will be seeking ratings from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's. They've both rated us in the past. We're going to continue with those ratings, and we'll be meeting with those rating agencies to talk through what our financial situation is, and so that they can have an idea of what our credit worthiness is. And then from there, we finish out our preliminary official statement. The official statement is basically a marketing document that outlines our credit worthiness for investors and gives very specific details about the finances of our organization, so that people who are interested in investing, and mostly businesses that are interested in investing, can take a look at those official statements and see if they are interested in buying our bonds for us.
Could you just explain to those that are listening at home, like what is the rating agencies? Can you just explain what that means?
A rating agency is very similar to a TransUnion or Experian credit rating structure. They have this scorecard of expectations around different community activities, the way that you operate in your financial world, other outside factors, and they fill in all of these factors to say whether or not you are a type of rating or not. So we are like AAA and AA2, AA3. And different rating agencies have different rating criteria. In the same way that when you pull your credit score from a TransUnion or an Experian, they may look just slightly different. They have different factors. Our rating agencies do the same thing. So it's no different as a person having your own credit score. This is our credit score as an agency.
I know that you've talked about that in the past, but
Yeah.
it's always a good reminder. So thank you so much.
So I want to take a quick moment also just to never can say thank you enough to our voters, right? This is a truly marvelous opportunity. And folks may be saying, well, go faster, right, in that space. So we are still building regularly now. This year we'll open the Bryant K-8 Montessori School. Folks will see that. And the moment I quote which other buildings are coming, Lowell, Whitman, please don't count them in that order. I think I'll look for the team to correct me. It's online. But folks will be also, what about the schools that you have put in this bond package? How come you haven't communicated? We are building a plan right now in that space based off of our capacity and how fast we can build. We only want to work with the best architects, the best construction companies in that space. And we only have so many capacities. So you'll see a lot of different projects that you'll start to get more updates of what those times are. That will be how we will spend that $165 million.
And to piggyback on that comment, I think it's important to note that to the listening public that the resources that we receive on the capital bond cannot be used for our general operating budget, that they're very separate entities for us.
Are there any other questions or comments from board members? Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roz. Moving on to item 14, curriculum and instruction. Item 14.1, approval of contract TSD-24-085 between Renton Technical College and Tacoma Public Schools from August 31st, 2024 through August 31st, 2029.
First of all, this is a fun one because this will make it possible for our students who are pursuing a culinary arts degree to gain college credit and make progress towards that degree while, of course, earning their high school credit simultaneously. So with that said, the Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Director of Career and Technical Education, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD 24085 between Renton Technical College and Tacoma School District from August 31, 2024 to August 31, 2029.
I move item 14.1. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 14.2, approval of contract number TSD-24-087 between Auburn School District and Tacoma Public Schools, September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2025.
This contract will make it possible for Tacoma Public Schools to serve Auburn special education students who are in their catchment area, but they do not have the services that they can provide for the student to be successful, so the student would come here along with their revenue. With that said, the Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Director of Student Services, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD 24087 between Auburn School District and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 to August 31, 2025.
I move item 14.2.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 14.3, approval of contract number TSD-24-143 between Edgenuity Inc. and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 to August 31st, 2028.
And this is the piece that makes our TOL online courses possible, Edgenuity. The Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Director of Innovative Learning and CTE, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD 24143 in the amount of $2,050,962 between Edgenuity and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 to August 31, 2028. Funding source, Alternative Learning Experience.
I move item 14.3.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 14.4, approval of contract number TSD-24-144 for the purchase of K-5 mathematics curriculum for the 2024 through 2030 school years.
The Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract TSD 24144 for the purchase of Ready Classroom by Curriculum Associates for K-5 mathematics in the amount not to exceed $3,437,540.65 over 6 years, exclusive of tax and shipping, for the 2024-2030 school years. Funding source, Curriculum and Instruction, Basic Ed.
I move to adopt item 14.4.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Thank you, Zeke. Item 15, business matters. 15.1, approval of interlocal agreement number TSD-24-145 between Metro Parks, Tacoma, and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2034.
The superintendent, on behalf of the Directors of Athletics and Activities, recommends the Board of Directors approve the renewed interlocal agreement number TSD-24-145 between Metro Parks Tacoma and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2034. For those that are at home, an interlocal is an agreement between two agencies, two governmental agencies oftentimes. And when you say governmental, it could be a municipality, it could be a variety of different governmental agencies, on how they work together to provide benefits to the community in exchange of services. This 10-year agreement is important. We share a lot of spaces in that. And so we are not wasting resources charging each other back and forth for those spaces. They are designated taxpayer spaces, and we look at that. And so inside of that subtlety is you see some pieces in there and like who manages those spaces, who does, takes the requests for those spaces, and it's a back and forth in that. And so it's how we operate together for the next 10 years. And it's a powerful agreement in that space. And so what does that look like in practice? That's the basis of things like how do we do Beyond the Bell and Club B together? That's the basis of when you drive by 6th Avenue and if you've done that in the last month, you have seen the 6th Avenue where Hilltop Heritage is transformed very quickly with a new fast pitch field for our Stadium Tiger and our Hilltop Heritage students. And then you can drive down Sprague. Right?
Right.
And I always tease Metro Parks of you guys got to get going. You got to get going. Stadium Tigers are going to have their baseball field by next spring, and you can see a massive transformation at Peck for the new facility in that space. And so there's all different kinds of examples. The Environmental Learning Center that is across that space, how we do assets together. And so that is what is being presented for you to consider adoption tonight.
And I move item 15.1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments on this item? No? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.2, approval of interlocal agreement number TSD-24-151 between Franklin Pierce School District and Tacoma Public Schools for the 2024-2025 school year.
Ooh, I just lost my agenda item. So the superintendent, on the superintendent on behalf of directors of athletics and activities recommends the board of directors approve interlocal number TSD 151 between Franklin Pierce School District and Tacoma Public Schools for the 24-25 school year. Once again, two agencies. This one is a little unique, and as you go into the agenda item, this is about sharing resources for students to participate in athletics, specifically the swim season. What is unique about this situation is Franklin Pierce does not have enough students to participate in swim. So we work collaboratively to offer that access to that. So this is our formal agreement on how they invest in that so that their kids can come to us when there's not enough and participate as a part of a team. It's very important for what that means for kids to show sportsmanship inside of that arena when you train with your colleagues from a different part of the region and the county. You'll see more and more of these as a way to provide equitable access. Sometimes you'll see that we have to do it with other school districts because we don't want a student to go without. It may not look the same, and there may be additional challenges such as transportation that we have to work through, but these are so powerful to ensure that kids have access to chase their dream and find their sense of belonging inside of an example like swim and dive.
I move 15.2.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.3, approval of contract number TSD-24-115 between Harbor Health and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2028.
This contract would provide us with another opportunity to reach out to staffing when we have medically fragile students who can have an IEP and we're not able to meet the staffing requirements with our current TPS staff members. The Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Director of Student Services, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD 24-115 between Harbor Health and Tacoma Public Schools in the amount of $400,000 from September 1, 2024 to August 31, 2028. Funding source, Student Services.
Move to adopt item 15.3.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.4, approval of the, Cyclance. Yeah, thank you. Cyclance antivirus annual renewal for the 2024-2025 school year.
The Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Chief Technology Officer, recommends that the Board of Directors approve Cylance Antivirus Annual Renewal Agreement in the amount of $343,584.50 for the 24-25 school year. Funding source, Technology General Fund.
I move item 15.4.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 15.5, another one that's going to stretch my enunciations. Approval of school bus purchases from Sketchy Bus Sales. Did I do that?
Shetke.
Thank you very much, because I read sketchy. So,
We will not buy sketchy buses.
nope, that's great. I'm like, well, that's not really what I think it is. So I will pass it over to you, Russ.
The Chief Financial Officer recommends that the Board of Directors approve the purchase of 5 diesel buses from Shetke Bus Sales in the amount of $893,582.09, funding source Transportation Vehicle Fund.
I move 15.5.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.6, approval of contract number 24-136, interdistrict agreement between Ording School District and Tacoma Public Schools, September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2025.
The Chief Financial Officer, on behalf of the Director of Transportation, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD-24-136 between the Ording School District and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2025.
I move to adopt item 15.6.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments on this item?
I'm just wondering if this is another one of just a student-based issue, so
What this does is provides us the opportunity to work with that school district to define how we transport our common students. So we have a student that we go and pick up and bring here, and this gives us the billing option. So we either split the cost with them halfway, like we'll take them one way, they take them the other way, or we meet them. We do both services and we provide them with the bill for half the service.
It's
So
the Kitty Vento, right?
It is.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. This is a direct result of what, some of our legislative work last year and really unpacking where some of our challenges were. And so I want to give a big shout out to Roslyn, that team, to unpack different examples that we can to build formalized relationships so we're not constantly chasing that down. And so we're happy to serve students, but we also need to work in partnership to offset those costs.
thank you for that explanation.
And any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.7, approval of contract number TSD-24-146 between Nomad Services and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2027.
The Chief Financial Officer, on behalf of the Director of Transportation, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD-24-146 between Nomad Services and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2027, in an amount not to exceed $800,000, funding source transportation.
I move 15.7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 15.8, approval of contract number TSD-24-147 between First Salt, First Alt, and Tacoma Public Schools, September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2027.
The Chief Financial Officer recommends, on behalf of the Director of Transportation, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD-24-147 between First Alt and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2027, in an amount not to exceed $800,000, funding source transportation.
I move to adopt 15.8.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Yep.
Could you just give a little example of what the non-bus transportation is? This similar to the previous two?
Yes. Yeah, there's three contracts that are identical. And what we did is we went out for a bid and asked for vendors to participate. In the past, we had like a hop, skip, drive company was the name of the provider, the vendor that provided the service. But they do door-to-door service, usually in vans, sometimes in cars, so that we can pick up students who are required to be transported to potentially their home school. Oftentimes they're McKinney-Vento students, as an example.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Item 15.9, approval of contract number TSD-24-148 between Assist Services and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2027.
The Chief Financial Officer, on behalf of the Director of Transportation, recommends that the Board of Directors approve contract number TSD-24-148 between Assist Services and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2027, in an amount not to exceed $800,000, funding source transportation.
I move to adopt 15.9.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roz. Item number 16, other business. 16.1, adoption of board annual goals and objectives for the 2024-2025 school year. The Board of Directors will individually adopt. Am I taking over your job, Deputy General? Okay, just checking. The Board of Directors will individually adopt the annual goals and objectives they formulated for the 2024-2025 school year.
I move item 16.1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. And then,
You want to describe what we've
yeah,
done?
yeah. Elizabeth. Yes. So we had a board retreat last Thursday evening where we discussed board goals, which we do annually. And we actually also, it was an opportunity where we evaluated the goals that we have had as a board for the last 5 years. And so the two goals that we had discussed that are up for a vote this evening, the first one is a strategic plan, and the goal reads, the board will develop and implement a process to revise the strategic plan for the 2025-2030 school years. And that is something that will take place over this school year with the support of staff. And then, thank you for putting them up there. And goal number 2 is under academic excellence and partnerships. And that goal is that the board will conduct a listening session with the Tacoma Special Needs PTA. And we've been doing listening sessions with different stakeholders and groups over the last several years. Last year we did it with in partnership with Indian Education and their parent council. Is that correct? Is that the name of the
Parent Advisory Council.
Thank you very much. And then we've also done it with the Black Collective, with APCC, and Me Central the year previously. I believe I got that all correct. So this is just in moving, continuing to engage with the community in intentional ways. And I believe that all of us have gained a lot of value, particularly in the listening sessions that we've done in the past. So, and I've already been in communication with the Tacoma Special Needs PTA board just to share that this is a goal that we are discussing and potentially adopting this evening. So, are there any other additional comments about board goals? All right, seeing none, we'll pass it over to Deputy General. I'm going to get it right. I promise one day.
It's okay. Katie's fine.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay. Regarding the adoption of your goals, how do you vote? President Keating?
Aye.
Director Bonbright?
Aye.
Director McElroy?
Aye.
Director Strozier?
Aye.
Director Leon?
Aye.
Passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 17, board comments and report.
Yes. It's my
Okay.
time to shine.
It is always your time to shine.
I will say it's been a very long and fun summer for me. Vision Step Team's been active, which means every Saturday this summer, the kids have been performing, which also means every other week there's 2 to 3 performances because there's multiple age groups. And we're having so much fun. But I want to highlight some events that are coming up for families. On this Saturday is the Hilltop Street Fair, which takes place in Hilltop. Find People's Park, Google it, it'll be fun if you go there. But then also at the Eastside Community Center around the same time is the Kids Health and Safety Fair. That's going to be hosted by the Tacoma Police Department, and they're giving away backpacks and food, free bike helmets, and health screenings for families who need them, and personal care bags as well. That is Saturday, August 24th, because I know the days. And then after that, the next weekend on the 31st, there'll be several backpack giveaways in town. If you need a backpack, you can look it up on Facebook or on Google, or ask Siri and just say backpack giveaway Tacoma, and you will find at least 25 results. On September 7th, I want to highlight one of our former community partners, On-Site Fitness, is having a Back 253 school bash and giveaway because they're giving away backpack supplies and free haircuts on Saturday, September 7th, right before school starts. And then something really cool, a school that's near and dear to my heart, Gray Middle School, on their first day back to school, they want to have like a back to school high five tunnel where mentors and community members can sign up with the Push for Love campaign with John Push Gaines, how you can get involved, giving high fives to kids on their first day back to school and welcome them into their space. I think it's really important. The best piece of intervention is preventative. And so before we get to a situation where we have to intervene, if there's prevention, I'm struggling with all the words today, but if there's preventative actions where we all come together as a community and say, we love you, we appreciate you, we're bringing those children into the village by saying, we're here with you. So I want to highlight some of our community partners who are doing that work in the town, and then some work that I'm doing in town through Vision Step Team. We've been doing book giveaways in partnership with Tacoma Public Library and the city of Tacoma. We were at, my goodness, the way my brain is going right now. We were at Moore Library on Tuesday. We'll be at South Tacoma Library next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after that, on the 3rd, we will be at Wheelock Library, and the goal is to give away books written by Black authors to multiracial children so that they can see themselves in books and feel representative. And I have more than 200 books to give away, and I'm just gonna say that now because they are free. It's for the community. I think that reading is really important. As a former preschool teacher, I really want to push that. And so there's also a sing-along and a lot of fun, stamps, coloring, games. Take my books, they're free if you watch this. So that's what's going on in the town. There's some awesome community partners, and I happen to be one of them. And that's how I ended up here on this dais with all of you from the work I was doing in community. And with that said, I will also be joining the ELO and going back to after school this year, which I'm really excited about, to continue to partner with our district, both from this seat and the many other hats that I wear.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was fast.
Man, my brain.
It was good. All right. Who would like to go next?
I guess I'll go. So, a couple of things that we have been going on since the last. We had one meeting in July and one meeting and a retreat here in August. So in the last month in July, there've actually been 2 JMAC meetings. So you get a double scoop tonight. Isn't that exciting? So the first one actually was our first on-site visit. So instead of a meeting in a physical space or in a remote space, we actually went to the Multicultural Children and Family Hope Center to see the kids, see the work with the kids in action, and really spent some high quality time. And by the way, JMAC, for those who don't know, it's a collaboration of elected officials here in the community, 2 representatives each from the city council, the county council, Port of Tacoma Commission, Metro Parks Board, Tacoma Public Schools, the Puyallup Tribe of Indians Tribal Council, and the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department and Pierce Transit. And so it was quite a group that was there that day, and we really spent some quality time with young people who were happy to be in a space that was nurturing and caring and loving and educational. So that was really fun to see. And they are building, for those who may or may not know, the Cora Whitley Family Center. They have a capital campaign going, and they're raising money for family support and prevention services like transitional housing, recovery, tiny home village, eviction preventive, diaper banks, food pantries, and they're putting this beautiful new building up through 32,710 square feet, including a gymnasium that's 3,700 square feet, 19 classrooms. Are going to have 326 early learners and 186 employees. So they are almost there. They've already raised to date 16 million, and they are looking for about 3,000 or 4,000 more. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, I know they'd be happy to have you come and visit their site. So, and I just as a fun story, the executive director was somebody that I met 30 years ago when she opened this facility as a small childcare facility, and now it is this huge thing, and she is transformational in the community, and it was just fun to see the staff and see the families, and anyway, it was great. So that was a fun visit. And then this month was the quarterly meeting of JMAC. We met with our CEO execs who talked about leveraging our strategic plans and aligning them in ways that so we're all moving in the same direction. And there was a presentation by Metro Parks Tacoma about the strategic plan that they just adopted, and some good conversations with the executives about what each of the other JMAC agencies are doing, aligning around strategic initiatives. And then we also talked about the success of Teen Summer Late Nights that is having its last I think the last night, isn't it the end of August? Yeah, okay, so the end of August, the last Friday in August is the last one. So they've been wonderfully successful again. So thanks to all of the those that contributed to that, both financially and with time and energy and food, et cetera. So that was the JMAC report. And then the other two things that are kind of rise to the top to talk about were every year before school starts, the administrators get together for a 3 or 4 day, sort of training session where everybody gets together and they work on, how to build a school plan, and just, the list is long. It's quite extensive what they do at the Admin Institute, and I just want to comment and say how proud I am of the professionalism of the administrative team that goes everyone from CAB, from the superintendent's office, down to each of the schools buildings themselves, from the principals down to everyone that works to set up environments that work for kids. So I just have to say, it's a pretty impressive group of admin professionals who are holding this district together. So thank you very much for all the work you're doing, and looking forward to a beginning of a really strong school year when everybody else comes into the buildings. And then yesterday I had a great conversation with Chantel Harmon-Reed, who's the new director of public health for the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. She's new to town, but really has hit the ground running. She's only been in the job about a month, but she's already been participating in JMAC and in doing a whole lot of meetings. I think she met with Superintendent Garcia today. So she's getting around, meeting people, and really has got some great plans to help put the community health component back in the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. So I'm really looking forward to working with her as a community partner. And so that's it for my report.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Leon?
Yeah. Regarding sports physicals, unfortunately, the previous large one that was sponsored by Multicare wasn't able to happen, but luckily the TPS staff was able to get the help of Madigan doctors to do a very large sports physical event just recently. There's still sports physicals available through Mount T clinic that we've had during the school year, but also during the summer. And this year we have a new school-based health center opening at Lincoln. So I'm very excited to have Lincoln joining on board, and then the staff is still working to try get partners for future schools. So I appreciate that support, and the school-based health centers are doing great things for helping the kids stay healthy and in class.
All right, thank you. Vice President Strozier?
No report.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yes? Yeah.
I saw the goats today at Stadium, and I think everyone should go visit. I think it's really awesome that we work with local folks who come in and provide solutions to some of our problems. That hill is massive and probably not safe for a lot of people to walk up and down, but I had a great time learning about the goats, why they're there, seeing the massive work that they're going to be undertaking. And I think it's really cool that we keep finding interesting partners who are like locally sourced. They're doing good work. And then Tacoma Public Schools says, you're doing the work. Amanda Scott Thomas, Director of Partnership, she said something like, if you want to try it, we'll do it with you. Like we'll join you. So we're joining them. We're doing cool work. And I met the goats and I got to touch one.
Can you explain what the goats are doing?
The goats are clearing a hillside that's very steep.
Blackberries.
See, they know things, and I just pet a goat, so yeah.
We subcontract with company that allows us, just for the same reasons Director McElroy mentioned, is sometimes it's rough terrain. It's not feasible for in there, so the goats come in and they help break down that side in there. And so it's a wonderful thing. It's a good little opportunity to see. They will not be there permanently in that space, and so you may see them in different parts of town, but right now it's kind of fun to see them in that space.
Happy
Excellent.
goats.
And you had something else you
Yes,
wanted to
I
add?
apologize. There was a few things I just want to quickly remind folks is it is, although we are technically wrapping up in board business the end of the 23-24 school year, and then next meeting we will be in the 24-25 school year. School has, in essence, started already in some of our schools, right? So Jumpstart's happened, and we've had some good successes. Sports for football started this last week on Wednesday, yesterday. And all of our other sports start on Monday, so please work through your registration process to get that going. A lot of families at this time are saying, well, how do I enroll? into a school. Maybe I'm new to the area in there. And so I just want to remind folks is that you can go to our website under the Getting Started tab, and it has a whole process. We moved to an electronic enrollment. So to help you do that, you can take pictures of your documents, you can submit them that way. And so, sometimes you may go to a school and the school office may not be open at that time. So that can be frustrating. So really, you can do all that online and start there in that process. I just want to remind folks, because we started here last year at the end of the year. Unfortunately, the cab elevator is still not accessible. So we will be here until further notice, right? And so if community wants to come into this space, and I want to give a big shout out to Mark and Tracy and to Kevin and to all the work behind the scenes to get this place so amazing. So thank you to that. Thank you, Director and Leon, to mention the event and the wonderful work of the multi-care team at Mount Tacoma. They've been open all summer long. And I've been over at Mount T numerous times, and there are kids there all summer long, and that could have never been opportunity without them. The Madigan officials came in and they gave over 350 sports physicals yesterday at Silas, and so a huge effort. They also made a significant donation to the Silas Invest Fund. So I want to give a big shout out to the Silas team, the office staff, Mr. Johnny Lee, Principal Bernadette Ray. They opened up their facilities, and it was kids all over Tacoma. It wasn't just Silas kids in that space. And so a big shout out there. Thank you to our late night partners as we wrap up. They never get enough thank yous into that. Some subtleties, we really need your help. As families start to open up their year, we ask folks to do what we call a household information survey. And that is really important. So please work to help us gather that information. It helps us with our after school programs. It helps us with our support programs inside of that. Two last ones, shout out. This is the time to submit your desire to be a volunteer. You can go on our website and to start your volunteer registration process. So I'll give a plug for Miss Amanda Scott's Thomas's leadership, and she's always helping us through that process. And so if you're willing to do some volunteering, we'll find a way to help you build that connection. President Keating and I had a chance to get a nice donation from GISA Credit Union. So if you are looking to build some financial literacy, we have our first clinic at Mount Tacoma, clinic, credit union, not clinic, at Mount Tacoma. And that's where students can start a financial debit card and join a credit union. We're working to build a connection with GWS 253, and it's a wonderful start in that space. And so the school district alumni can get a GISA credit card. You can get a Lincoln Abe's one, or a Stadium Tiger, or a Silas Ram, or a Faust Falcon, and you can choose. You can open multiple accounts if you have multiple family members. And so we are here to do that. And so we were very successful. And then finally, I'd like to give a warm welcome to a familiar face. Miss Angel Morton is sitting behind me, and she is our TEA president. We look forward to working with Angel this year, and just like all of our past partners in that space. And so if you see Angel, please get a chance to say hi. I wanted to say new, but you've been a TA president before, and coming straight out of the building at Roosevelt. And so we'll miss her at Roosevelt, but look forward to working with all of our staff under her leadership to find a way to keep on getting better.
Excellent. Well, and I don't have a whole lot to share. I appreciate Director Bombright bringing up the Admin Institute. And the theme is getting better together. Did I do that right?
Yes.
Nice.
I was going to screw it up, so thank you.
Wow. Well, I mean, the t-shirt's here, so I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure. So getting better. It was Vice President Strozier, myself, and Director Bombright were able to be there on the first morning, along with TEA President Angel Morton, to just acknowledge, to greet, and just kind of welcome everyone to what was the beginning of their school year, because that work does not ever stop, really. And so, and I actually was really honored to be a part of the day the Whole Child team put together around inclusion. And so I worked with all groups around inclusion for LGBTQ students. And I always extend that to staff and families as well. So it was a really powerful day for me to get to work in such a meaningful way and intentional way with our administrators. And they were not just all building administrators that as well. Like, it was a really, I just really appreciated the work that Director Laura Allen and her team put together on that day of the Admin Institute. So, and I wanted to also thank Angel for being there and greeting on that first day. It just was a really powerful partnership and moment. So thank you very much for being there. And then Superintendent and I, and Tanisha Jumper and Adam Kulas. I don't think I'm missing anyone. There was one other person we did get to meet with some of Senator Murray's staff to visit the Maritime Skills Academy, the site that it's going to be built on, the property. So that was really interesting. And actually, it was what her education policy director from DC flew out to be with us, Abby. Oh, I'd forgotten Abby's last name, but I have her card on my desk. It was really great. And then there's actually Director Bombright is going to have an opportunity to meet with staff on behalf of the board on, I think it's the 28th. Yes. Approximately the 28th. Mm-hmm. And then Senator Murray herself is going to be coming, unless things change, on September 4th. And Vice President Strozier and myself are going to be there to meet and greet Senator Murray, who has been a huge champion for our district, K-12, and also the Maritime Skills Academy. So it's really an honor to have her come and visit. So. And then the other community thing, just to not compete with Director McElroy, but I've been following the Peace Bus. Kwabi Ama Forson is the brains and the soul behind the Peace Bus, has done a campaign all summer long called All Youth Can Eat. And partnered with multiple restaurants around Tacoma and Seattle. And I know Cooper's was one of them. I've there's just a huge number of local small business or local owned restaurants that have participated and fed youth. And I believe it's typically on Wednesdays, at least that's what I've been reading. And I think this last week, just at one of the locations in Tacoma, 70 youth got to eat for free. And so it's a really powerful campaign, and I'm really grateful for the work that that he's doing on behalf of youth in our community. So with that, I will move us to item number 18, announcements of next regular board meetings. September 12th, 2024, 6 p.m. business meeting located here. September 19th, 2024, 6 p.m. will be a study session, also here. And then on September 26th, 2024, we will, at 6 p.m., we will have another business meeting in this location. And with that, item number 19, we are adjourned.
Thank you.